Well, it's no wonder you're miserable. Misery is the default human condition in the absence of sustaining meaning, just like hunger is the default condition in the absence of food. And you need productive, generous, reciprocal engagement in order to provide you with the genuine meaning that sustains you in life. A lot of the pathway to that is pretty pragmatic and practical. You got no friends? That's likely a problem. You're a creative person, you have no creative outlet? That's not going to work out for you. You're lonesome because you don't have an intimate relationship? That's a source of pain. Those things have to be rectified, and you can do that incrementally, and that works. That's a practical pathway to incremental improvement.
So look, what he's really saying here, if you're having certain things in your life that are unfulfilling, right? Certain areas that are unfulfilling, then you're always going to default back to, once again, what your default is. Now, where that default essentially comes from is your early stages of life, right? Between 0 to 7 years old, you're programmed with, the emotional baseline of the parents that you have or the people that are close to you when you're growing up. And you absorb that because that is what you model to be able to survive, right? You're installing and getting all those programs sublimely into your mind so that you can then run those programs unconsciously when you're older. Now, if you want to be above that baseline, you want to be more happy, more productive, more successful, more confident, all those things, then you're going to have to do effort to be able to experience that, right? And what that effort looks like, what he's getting into there after that is...
One of the things that's very much worth knowing is that a lot of positive emotion is dependent, technically, that you're moving towards a valued goal. See, not that you've attained the goal.
Actually, what he's really saying is figure out your values in life, right? Like what is actually really important to you as a person, right? So he's saying that, if you're a loner, or if you're not having an intimate relationship, you're not having a girlfriend and all that type of stuff, and that is something that is important to you, right? And obviously those things are biological needs as humans to have some sort of connection, love, whatever. Those things are pretty much applicable to anyone. Find out what is most important to you, and then you're gonna have to put in the work to do those things. As humans, we always wanna grow, right? We always wanna move towards something because that's just our innate being, because we have a conscious mind that wants to create, right? That's really why we're here on earth, to create things, to grow, to expand, etc. So if you're not doing that, and if you don't have a vision for how your life is going to get better, or what is the next level in whatever area we were talking about, then you're going to feel sad, you're going to feel depressed, and all those things like Peterson is getting at there.
Right away, you don't have to attain the goal in order to be meaningfully engaged. You just have to be on the pathway forward. You can benefit from this almost immediately.
Take, as he said, those incremental steps to start getting towards those goals. And they could be very small. If you're wanting to be more productive, if you want to end up with a, for example, successful business, then an incremental step could be, as I'm sitting right next to it, make your damn bed in the morning, right? As Jordan Peterson always says. Now, those small things might seem completely arbitrary and meaningless, but if you start building up the momentum, then you're gonna get into more of an identity of someone who does take action, embody more of an identity of someone that does do what he says he's gonna do. And because you're taking it in small steps, you can still manage it, right? If you're just gonna say like, okay, I'm gonna make 500 cold calls tomorrow, which even an experienced person is not gonna be able to do most likely, then you're just gonna say that and you're not gonna do it, and then that defeats your winner feeling, right? You get into a loser momentum because you said you were gonna do B and you did A, right? Which is not good. So that's why he's saying incremental steps, right? Like you start with some small shit, and then from there on you build it up, you build it up, you build it up, and then now you're in a winning momentum, and you're starting to get that dopamine released in your body and in your bloodstream, which is going to cause you to feel good about that progress, okay? And now you're in an upwards spiral instead of a downward spiral. The first step to shifting this is the awareness. Hey, what is the area, what is the goal right now that I want to change? Okay, where do I want to get better? Where do I want to improve? And what is that going to give me as a reward, right? Get clear on that, because you're not just getting money for the money, right? That doesn't make sense, because in and of itself, it doesn't mean anything. What is it going to do for you, okay? What type of person are you going to be? What type of people are you going to have around you? What more freedom, etc. Okay, ask yourself what is most important for you in life, and how does that associate to the goal that you have? If you're trying to have a better love life or whatever, and you want to grow your business at the same time, how does growing my business also feed into me having a better love life, relationship, whatever it may be, right? And then from there on, start expanding that and set goals and re-engineer those goals, right? Okay, if you want to make 10 grand a month, 100 grand a month, even $1 million a month, whatever, and then start with the smallest damn step that you could possibly take there. When you do that, don't just focus on taking action. Don't just try to change your behavior, because you want to be coming from the right identity when you're taking those actions. Because if you're not, then it feels like a compensating type of behavior and that will never last because you're fighting yourself. So shift who you are being in that moment and come from this identity of, oh, I am a productive person. Okay, I'm coming from productivity, proactivity, whatever you want to call it. Then make your bed and then use that as a confirmation that you are indeed that. And now you have a self-reinforcing pattern that's clicking in your brain every time you do something, and now you're really becoming that person. You're really coming from a place of where you are already that person, but you're just solidifying it every time you've taken action, which is just a vote for that person that you want to be. So take those steps, define what you want, awareness, right? Then incremental goal, come from the right identity, and solidify that step by step by step, and you'll get into a much better place really rapidly. This can go so damn quick, guys. And if you really want a little hack, what you can do is choose one reasonably easy to do but very uncomfortable to do big action that you could take. Maybe it's jumping in an ice bath. Maybe it is just going out on the street and just screaming amongst people. Not too hard. Maybe it is just approaching that pretty girl that you've been waiting to do. Whatever it may be, just one very uncomfortable action that shifts you into gear of proactivity right away, because you get such a big dopamine rush. The more you're scared to do it, the bigger the reward is going to be, okay? Remember that, because the more you don't want to do it, the more you should. So keep those things in mind, take action, and that is the steps.